Welcome to VERACiTiZ. In this video, we are going to explore the Power BI Modeling MCP server. Here's how this video is going to go. We'll start with how it actually works, then set it up together from scratch, walk through a few real demos, and close out with the safety and privacy side of things you want to know before you try this on a real model. Let's get into it. So what does MCP actually means? MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It is an open standard designed to connect AI agents directly to real tools. So instead of manually opening your model and clicking through every table, column, and measure by yourself, you simply describe what you want, and the AI carries out that changes directly for you. Now let's look at how that actually plays out here. You type a prompt, say, add a year-over-year sales measure. That goes to your AI agent. The agent doesn't just guess at an answer, it calls the MCP server, which runs locally on your machine. That server then talks directly to your semantic model, whether that's open in Power BI Desktop, sitting in a Fabric workspace, or stored as PBIP project files using TMDL. And here's the important part, the server runs locally, and it uses your existing Power BI credentials. This isn't some cloud black box reaching into your tenant on its own. It's acting as you with the access you already have. Let's move on to installation and setup. The recommended way by Microsoft is through Visual Studio Code with GitHub Copilot. Step 1. Install VS Code if you don't already have it. Step 2. Install the GitHub Copilot chat extension inside VS Code. Step 3. Search for Power BI Modeling MCP and install it. Once that's done, open Copilot Chat, check the tools list, and you should see Power BI Modeling MCP listed and selected. If you don't see it, go to your Copilot settings on github.com and make sure MCP servers in Copilot is enabled, and on enterprise accounts, an admin may need to turn that on first. Once the server is running, connecting to your model is simple. You just tell it where your model is. If it's open in Power BI Desktop, say, connect to the file name in Power BI Desktop. If it is in Fabric Workspace, say, connect to Semantic Model and the model name and workspace name. If it's a PBIP project, point it at the folder where your TMDL files are. One thing to keep in mind, if you're connecting to Power BI Desktop, make sure the file is already open before you connect. And if you restart Desktop, you may need to reconnect again since the port changes between sessions. Now that we are connected, let's run the first demo. On the left you can see the Power BI model, and if you look at the measures, the naming is all over the place. Some use underscores, some are abbreviated, some use a completely different format. On the right, I'll type one prompt into Copilot Chat and let's see what happens. Analyze this model's naming conventions and suggest a consistent renaming pattern across all measures. As you can see, the MCP has analyzed our model and generated a before and after of the renaming changes. On the left side, it has begun applying those changes directly in Power BI Desktop. Next, we ask the MCP to document the semantic model. Our prompt is, generate a markdown document that fully documents this semantic model. Include a mermaid diagram of the table relationships, document each measure with its DAX code and a plain English explanation of what it calculates, and describe each table's purpose. The MCP have already created the markdown file. Let's view it. The MCP has successfully generated the relationship diagram and documented every table and measure, just as we asked. Now let's export the documentation. We are exporting this as a PDF so we can share the document easily. And the document is exported successfully. For next demo, we will analyze DAX queries. Review all DAX measures in this model and rewrite any that can be optimized for better performance. Show me the before and after for each one. The MCP says all the measures are optimized, so I'll ask the MCP to add new measures that can improve our model. So now I prompt like, is there any DAX that we can implement in the data model that would be helpful for our business scenario? Now the MCP suggested several new DAX measures and automatically added them in our data model. No copy-pasting, no manual writing. Let's talk about safety because this tool can directly change your model, so it's worth knowing exactly what controls you have. There are 3 modes: read-write, read-only, And skip confirmation. Read-write is the default mode. The AI can read your model and also make changes to it, like renaming measures or adding new ones. Read-only does exactly what it sounds like. The AI can only read your model and suggest changes in the chat, but it cannot touch your actual model at all. There's also a confirmation step. Even in read-write mode, before the very first change is made, it shows you exactly what it's about to do and waits for your approval. You can also turn this off completely using the skip confirmation argument, but Microsoft is clear about this one. Only use it if you already have a backup of your model. So the simple version, read only if you just want suggestions, read-write if you want it to make changes for you, and skip confirmations on if you want it to ask permission every time it makes some changes in your model. These modes are easy to activate. You just head into the MCP server settings and pass them in as a command line argument. Inside this text box, type the argument that you want to activate. Right now I'm adding skip confirmation. And that's all. It's just easy as that. Before we wrap up, let's talk about privacy and a few limitations you should be aware of. First, privacy. The server runs locally and uses your existing credentials, so it doesn't bypass any Power BI security. But the metadata it reads, like table names, column names, even query results, does get sent to your AI client, and from there to whatever LLM provider you're using. So just be mindful of what metadata you are comfortable sharing with an AI provider. Second, LLM choice. Model quality really does depend on which LLM you use. Microsoft specifically recommends deep reasoning models like GPT-5 or Claude Sonnet 4.5 to get the best results. And third, limitations. This tool only handles modeling. It cannot touch report pages, visuals, or diagram layouts. And since it is still in public preview, things may change as Microsoft continues to develop it. A quick recap. The Power BI Modeling MCP server lets you build, refactor, document, and debug semantic models using plain English through a local server that talks to Power BI Desktop, Fabric, or PBIP projects. Setup takes about 10 minutes through VS Code and Copilot. Just remember, back up before you let it write, keep confirmations on while you're learning it, and think about what model metadata you're comfortable sending to an AI provider. That's everything for today. If you have any questions about setting this up or anything we covered in this video, drop them in the comments, and if this video was useful to you, hit like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.